Yeah, they actually screwed that one in. Wow, that's pretty cool. So, usually when you install a door, it's best to use no hardware if possible, and they did a really good job here. So, I can't believe there's not one screw in that. Good morning, YouTube. Well, morning for me. I don't know when you guys are watching this, but as most great adventures start, I'm starting at Quick Trip. I got about a 40-minute drive to go meet a buddy who's got a diesel pickup and an aluminum tilt bed trailer that we're going to use to go pick up the newest piece of equipment for the racetrack. But before we say too much, I just want to thank all you guys for checking out the video series. And today's video, without you guys watching and supporting, none of this is going to be possible as quickly as it has been going. Now, a ton of guys have given me some advice on what I could do with the tractor as far as cutting grass and moving snow, etc. over the last couple of months. But there's a piece of equipment that Toro makes called a Groundmaster that has a 72-inch cut deck, and you can get just about any attachment form that you can imagine, and the price is really good on this one. So I feel pretty confident that we're going to pick this thing up. Hopefully it's everything that the buyer says it is, and you know, we're traveling a little ways for this one, but the price is right, and I couldn't find one nearly as affordably locally. So, like most things, if you're willing to travel, you can pick up a decent deal on something, and I'll catch up with you guys when we get into the diesel pickup, and I guess hopefully we'll have a pretty smooth sailing trip ahead of us, and I'll see you guys when we check out this Toro Groundmaster. Well, we ended up not getting the lawnmower. It turned out that the frame was pretty rusty on it, which is too bad, but not that big of a deal because we ended up having a whole other thing we're looking at here on the Winnebago Warrior. But not all hope is lost. We are checking out the motorhome here for one of our buddies riding with, and we're off to a good start with it. So, if that says anything about the motorhome, it's a pretty neat ride, and hopefully runs good and he picks it up. But I struck out on the lawnmower, but it's alright. We've had a fun trip so far. Got quite a ride back, so we'll get lunch and dinner on the road today and hopefully find one somewhere else. Alright, so that one didn't work out, but we came upon a farm with quite a bit of stuff, including a John Deere mower. So we're going to go down the hill real quick, take a peek at it, see what we got. That's the ESPN view? Yes.
Look at that, just like the training films.
Oh yeah.
Oh, listen to that thing.
Almost a barn find.
I can.
We're all cleaned up here. In the future, I am actually going to paint the entire building, so I'm going to paint over everything once that time comes, and it's going to work. My buddy Chris just took off, picked up a couple of hoodies, so thanks Chris for that. Big shout out to everybody that's picking up the Black River Motorsports Park merch. Appreciate you guys, and what it is going to do is pave the way literally up on the front half. So I want to expand it in the springtime, do some paving and make it a much more interesting layout, and with all the support from you guys, it is going to go quicker. But as you can see, we are done with this portion of the project. Shuts mint. And we got one door done, and I think I've got at least 2 more to go, and I'm gonna trim out the window and replace all these rotten boards up there. So this weekend I'm gonna come back out and work on it, but for now, I'm gonna hop on the new John Deere mower and go do some cutting. I think I should say one more time how awesome this new lawnmower that I got is. It was literally like 2 passes out of here, and it was grown up just like the rest of the top of the old racetrack up there. 2 passes here, and we're down to like bare grass, which is just totally crazy. That thing is a beast. So that's making working out here so much easier, and I'm actually able to take care of more space in much less time. So it's win-win-win all around. Alright guys, so where we left off with this piece of equipment is that the carburetor here actually needed to be rebuilt. My buddy was not able to make it here today, but what I'm going to do is go ahead and try and start it and hopefully set it up as it should be. So this appears to be the power steering pump, and it is empty, which means there's either a gargantuan leak or, well, I'd almost guarantee there's a leak. So I'm just gonna fill it up to make sure we don't dry start this thing, and I guess we'll see what happens. But looks like it's gonna take down some into the lines. I'd imagine it's gotta be running for it to actually cycle or do anything, but we're at least gonna not dry start it. This is actually my buddy's recommendation to rebuild the carburetor, was to check this because, you know, I had actually forgotten too. But I think all I've got to do is hook up a fuel line to my makeshift gas canister, and what it's going to do is hopefully start, and some minor adjustment, run pretty good. So I'm going to replace a couple of battery cables to make this a little bit easier to set up and run, but after that we should be ready to rock. You know, I may get shamed for this, but I honestly did not have something better, and a boat fuel tank was something like $70 or $80 when I was looking up at the place I could get one locally. And I could have probably found one used or whatever, but you know what? Instead of even spending that amount of money on the thing to find out that, say, like a hydraulic pump is bad on it, or, you know, just something doesn't work, instead of blowing the wad on it, I feel like this is a much better use of resources at the moment. And hopefully everything's going to come together and it's actually going to run, at which point I will actually get this thing dialed in. I do have the factory fuel tank for it, but there's giant rust holes in it, so that thing was not immediately salvageable. No, who knows? If it runs good, I'm going to keep this piece of equipment around because it'll be handy at some point, especially with the big roller I've got that can be towed behind it. But until then, I'm just going to make sure that this thing actually runs and kind of does what it's supposed to do. So, as sketchy as that is, it is going to work. So, the guy that rebuilt the carburetor wanted to be here for one reason, and I think I know why, because it's not actually just taking off like I was hoping. There's a little adjustment that needs to be done. But, nevertheless, it did run under its own power. So, I'm going to call him real quick and see if I can dial this thing in, and maybe even get this thing running pretty good by the time I go. Alright, update time. After monkeying with it a little bit, this sucker runs mint. It actually started right up, there was no like drama. I adjusted the timing. I adjusted the ignition timing just a touch. So I believe I advanced it. It was spitting and sputtering out of the carburetor backfiring. And it actually ended up running just like this, almost right out of the gate. After doing a little adjustment, runs really good. So I think what's next is probably to find out if we can actually drive this thing. But it seems as though the gear selector, whether it's like hydrostatic or however it works up in here, is frozen. So I may have to take off the top plate here and see what's going on in there. But otherwise, it seems to run pretty good. Alright, so it will not go into gear. And it seems as though this is frozen in there. So whatever the case, I'm trying to open this up and find out what's going on in here. Oh yeah, that's pretty rusty. Okay, so I would imagine, oh, it's also like bone dry. This is good. I'm moving it, look at it. Whole machine. Okay, we're getting somewhere now. This is good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, she's going. Alright, so it runs really good, but it seems like we have a problem with whatever propels the machine, because there appears to be some sort of clutch, I would imagine, but there's hydraulic fittings on the transmission, and the transmission is bone dry. There appears to be no ATF in it. The gear selector now works. I'd imagine it's like a forward or reverser, and the brake works and everything like that, but it just doesn't have any forward or reverse momentum or sounds or anything. But at any rate, it runs really good. Runs really good, and yeah, we're off to a much better start now that we got the engine side of things dialed in. If I can get this thing running and moving, I'll probably do a much better gas can type of setup, or even fix up the original gas tank, which is way back there, right there. But if it's not going to move, there's a big pump problem, and it might be a really hard part to find, or whatever the deal, it's not worth doing all that stuff ahead of time. So I know that it works good, and we'll go from there in the next video, I guess.
I love you, Ursula!
Thing is bigger.
Boy, Phillips kit, huh?
Yeah, too big. I need a smaller one.
You know, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that, I would have a nickel now.
I knew just where to find it in your kit.
Fun size one in there. I know the deal. You get them from me?
You know, I never found it right.
Might not be good at much, but I'll be damned if I can't make a nice straight door jam.
There you go.
Mama always said I wasn't worth of nothing.
I love you, Ursula!
Alright guys, so we got a couple of new doors hung on the side of the garage, on I guess this side and the other side. Got all the bricks peeled out of here, and what we're going to have to do, as you can see, is actually grade all through here. And what we're going to do is mat and classify this as well, and then go ahead and start working on the exterior of the structure as well. Clean this up, and this is more or less a preservation job. We're not looking to reinvent the wheel here. We got quite a bit of work to do on this side. On the other side, we got a new door hung as well. I got my truck running because I'm just about to take off. Got ourselves a full moon rising over there. Kind of neat. But anyways, we got this side all swapped out as well. So the doors are in really good shape now. They're all sealed up, and we're getting ready to start working on the exterior like I had said. And what that's going to mean is that we're going to have a nice clean slate for this garage slash storage building. It's a little place to work on stuff, get out of the rain and whatnot, but there's quite a few boards and stuff like that to replace. Alright guys, so now that I got all three of the doors replaced on the garage with my buddy, so now that my buddy and I got all three of the doors replaced out here in the garage, what I need to do is start actually fixing up some of the trim around it. Up inside of here, there was a couple of really good wasp nests, but I think they're pretty much dead and gone because over the last few weeks, I've been bombing it with wasp and hornet killer and whatnot. And I've been chucking rocks at it when I came back the last couple of days, and nothing at all has came out. So I'm pretty confident that that's all cleaned up. But pretty much every board along the fascia here is rotten at one point or another. This one's on the end. This other one here is on the end. You know, that one is kind of in the middle, and the other one, of course, has the holes in it. But it's going to be the same story on the other side, so I got enough to do both sides of the garage, and I got enough paint to actually do some painting here. And I think I'll have enough left over. If not, I'll have some more material in the garage where I can actually trim around this window real quick and get this cleaned up a little bit while I'm here today. everybody home? Okay. So that was expected. One down there was expected. But this one was not expected. So, sorry little buddy. See you later. Bye-bye. Alright guys, so there you have it. We are losing light here. The roller runs awesome. I got the gear selector all freed up and it seems to work fine. What I should do is service that gearbox and actually get some fluid in it, topped off to its proper level. And hopefully we'll be able to get that thing, moving under its own power. I can't tell you why, because to me, with that engine spinning, the flywheel and I believe clutch should be spinning as well. Whatever the case may be, it seems as though we do not have forward or reverse power. Anyways, enough about that. I'm starting to get the garage fixed up just a little bit here. I've got my crooked window, which I love so dearly, as well as the amazing trim job that is custom. So if you want any custom home type work, shoot me an email. I can get you some as nice as that at your place. But have to tell you, that ain't gonna be cheap. I know it wasn't the biggest update. We weren't doing earth moving or anything like that, but it is what I've been able to get done in the last couple of weeks out here in free time. So hope you guys liked it. If you did, check out the merch at the link in the description. A bunch of you guys picked up stuff in the United States and abroad, so I thank each and every one of you for doing that. That's all I got for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one.